Alright, today we are working on a Honda. Now this is going to be kind of similar to all vehicles, but this is going to be a little bit more easier to work on. Now some other cars might be more easier to work on and some might be very difficult to work on. So now depending on the type of tools that you're going to be needing, I'm just only going to need a pair of pliers and just like something to catch the reservoir, the return hose fluid. Now this is a very easy step. You can do this without having a jack, but I would recommend to have a jack to make your job a lot more easier. Unless if you want to work out, you can do that too as well. But I will show you how to do this process of how to bleed the power steering system. Now, I would recommend to do this once the fluid starts getting dirty. Now, the more you're on top of it, the less fluid that you're going to need to flush out the system. Everybody would recommend to do it once every 2 years to 4 years, or depending on mileage, depending on that. So obviously average person is going to drive about 15,000 miles per year, 10 to 15,000 miles, so to say, give or take. But you want to do it around that time, or some other people might want to do it every 30,000 miles, depending on that. So whichever comes first, everybody's going to have a different opinion on this. So for me personally, I like to do it once every 2 to 4 years, depending on the state of fluid or the mileage. So about 30 to 45,000 miles I would like to give or take on that. Again, also depending on the drivability. Now, this will make your steering so much smoother once you do this process. It'll feel like butter. It's just very smooth. You'll be very amazed of how the outcome would be after you flush the system. So you will see results. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this process. Things first, for Hondas, most of them are going to have a subframe, and then we could just jack it up from right here. I'm not going to use any jack stands because I'm not going to be under the vehicle, but if you are going to be going under the vehicle, I would recommend to support it right here with some jack stands on both sides. But since again we're not going under the vehicle, so we do not need to worry about that. But again, you can jack them up from the subframe spots. So right here is going to be our feed line, which is going to be your lowest point on the reservoir, and then your upper one will be your return hose. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect the return hose, and we are going to put that into a container while adding fluid to the reservoir. Now, this one I can actually take off the reservoir, and all Hondas pretty similar, and we can lean it to the side. Now, if you don't have that, you can put a nipple on the reservoir itself. So you can just leave it the way how it is and block any fluid that's going to come out. Now, we're not going to be churning on the vehicle. We're going to keep the vehicle off at all times. Now, you're going to need to put the key on the on position in the car, on the on but not starting position or running. So just make sure that the key is on like an accessory 1 or 2 until you're able to move the steering wheel, so where that the steering wheel will not lock. Now, if you don't have like a suction cup to suck out the fluid from the reservoir, I would recommend that. But if you can't, it's fine. You can just try to get all the remaining fluid. It's just you're going to be adding more dirty fluid throughout the system. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to drain out all the fluid in here first, just so we're running with new fluid, so it could be a lot more easier for the system just to drain out. So we're going to go ahead and drain out this fluid first. So we're going to go ahead and just disconnect these hose clamps. So we're just going to start off with the lower radiator, or the lower feed line hose. So we're going to have something to catch the fluid in. I'm going to be using cups so you can kind of see the dip. So now you can kind of, see how dirty this fluid is. So yeah, basically I'm just going to be kind of showing step by step of how cleaner each fluid's going to be. But I will pour this one in here, so this will be the same. So we're gonna reduce the amount, and then yeah, we'll just kind of show a little step by step on that process. So now we have this guy blocked off. I use the vacuum cap. Now this is only going to be temporary until we're done flushing it. So basically I have this hose just kind of using the quick release hose clamp onto this piece, so it just holds itself in place. If needed, have a rag around just so you can clean up your area. Now I would use recommended fluid for that specific vehicle. I am going to be using like an AutoZone brand, but it's made for Honda use only. This will be the same for Acura's too. Now some cars require automatic transmission fluid, so again, you need to pay attention to all that stuff. That's very crucial. And you can see as I pour this guy, I might make a mess right now, but I want to try to do it without making a mess. It's going to be very clear. So you can see how clear that is. So we're going to kind of want it to be as clear as that, but it might not. It just might come out as like a gold finish. So try to do the best we can. Now, keep in note, you want to keep checking this to make sure that your reservoir is full. So probably before this empties out, I'm going to have to switch up the cup, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. Now you can use a water bottle or a container to catch in, so you can check your progress on how you're doing with the fluid, just to see that. So now I'm going to go ahead inside the vehicle and start turning the wheel left, all the way right, and then you're just going to keep repeating this, the steps back and forth. because obviously we don't want to give our customer back a dirty car. If needed, you might need to wash it with, hose it down with some water, some degreaser. So now after you put down on your hose clamp, check your fluid level. I'm not going to be able to put in fluid right now. It's just parts store is closed right now, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. But we're going to go ahead and add fluid to the full line, and then you're going to go ahead and rotate the wheel left and right. For this specific vehicle, I had to do it very slow. I couldn't do it too fast, because if I was going too fast, then it wasn't flushing as fast as I would want it to. So the slower I went, the more faster the flush would be on this one. Now I'm going to show you the results of each container that I went through. So we'll go ahead and set that all up. Alright, so this is not all the cups, but I mean for the majority, every time it changed the shade, you can see. Now I could have went one more time or with 2 more new containers to get it to pretty close to clear white. So I mean you can see how the results are. So again, this is like our first fluid that we drained out, and then after I think it was like 1 or 2 more containers, and then 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 6 or 7, and then 8 or 9 containers. I did use about 9.5 containers I used for this whole setup. Now they're about like $6 a piece for the Honda one, so they're only 12 ounces a container. But you don't have to go the extra mile. You can actually stop either at this shade or that shade, so whatever you want. But the more cleaner it is, obviously, you know, you're not gonna have to do it as much. Now, this person has not changed the fluid once ever in the car's life. So for 2011 or 2010, either or, they've put about 100k miles on the vehicle itself. So again, so here's the other containers. As you can see all those. So starting from right here, working my way around, and then going right back, and then ran out of some space, but you can see these fluids are still good, the clear ones. I'll reuse those for another flush that I might be doing in the future. So now I hope this video helped you out. Now if you have any questions about this setup, every car is going to be different. So some cars you can actually spin them faster. There's other cars that I just turn the wheel real fast and it'll bleed it out very fast, so you have to keep on top of it. Now this one in particular, I had to do it very slow, so which is fine. Literally took me about an hour's time, hour and 10 minutes, because I had to go to the parts store and grab some more fluid. So comment below, give it a thumbs up, and then hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future, and thanks for watching.